Hi guys, welcome back to another video on my channel. Hi everybody, welcome back to another video on my channel. For today's video, we are going to be discussing the groups I stan. And also in this video, I'm going to tell you guys who I collect album-wise, how I collect, if it's photo cards, if it's just albums, if it's some albums, if it's all albums. Everything's going to be discussed in this video because I think I get this question so many times. And I actually made a video like January of this year and still I get questions. And I've also, I feel like stan different groups kind of changed the way I stan groups and also just kind of been more invested in some groups, and other groups I've just kind of left at the back burner. So I figured I would just redo this video, kind of talk to you guys about it and just kind of discuss this lovely topic of K-pop because we all know that's what my channel's about. So yeah, I'm going to be talking about the groups I stan. We're going to go through the list and then I'll tell you guys obviously if I collect albums for them or not. And then finally, I can stop answering this question on live streams of who's your BTS bias because a lot of you guys requested this video because I did mention in a past live stream, and I'm just gonna say it now, I actually decided recently to ult a new group, which is really exciting because I do not ult groups very lightly. I take like years and years to decide if a group is an ult. But recently I've been more like, okay, we need to sit down, let it process, let it marinate for many a years. So yeah, I did decide to ult a new group. So I have 6 ultimates now, which is quite exciting, which I will obviously talk about at the end. But yes, we are going to discuss it. Now, I'm gonna put a disclaimer at the beginning of this video and I'm gonna try and keep it as short and concise as I can. I might not stan groups in the way that you stan groups. You might not stan groups in the way that I stan groups. And y'all, that's okay. It doesn't freaking matter how you qualify or how you decide who to stan or how to stan. Like, it's up to you. It's not up to anyone else. If somebody tries to tell you that you're not a true fan of something or that you can't stan something, please don't listen to them. They have problems because it doesn't matter. It should be up to you who you decide to stan, how you decide to stan. And you guys know I have talked about this a lot. I have a lot looser terms of standing when it comes to being like a fan of something, whereas ultimates I go a lot more in depth and I learn more about, and I feel like for me I can stan whoever the hell I want to and I don't have to justify or tell you guys why I stan or how I stan, because at the end of the day, like, it's my choice and I can do whatever the heck I want with my life and my money and who I decide to buy and who I decide to don't buy. Like, it doesn't matter, and I want you guys to just understand that please don't let other people tell you how to be a fan of something, because at the end of the day, this is a music genre. So yeah, I just want to say that because I get a lot of comments personally about like, Ariel, what do you mean you're a fan of this group? You don't talk about them. Or like, Ariel, you don't know this about this person, so how can you be a fan of them? Like, I don't give a shit. You guys, I'm 21 years old and I don't care. Just know that you can literally decide who you want to stan. It doesn't matter. But yeah, I thought I would get into my list. I wrote it on my phone because I do not want to forget anybody. This list will be probably different from the list in January because, like I said, I have just been more in the kind of like prioritization mindset where, you guys know, I love everyone. Like, there's not really a group in K-pop I dislike. I think everybody is doing their best, killing it. If there's a group on this list that I don't say that you like, it doesn't mean that I hate them. I don't really hate anybody in K-pop, but like, obviously these are just the groups that I am more looking forward to their comebacks, more interested in, more keeping an eye on what they're doing and stuff like that. So don't think that like if there's a group on here like I hate them. And also there's a lot of groups on here that I do like and do listen to their music. I just don't personally stan them. We're gonna start off with soloists and then we're gonna do girl groups and then boy groups. For you guys who don't know, I do stan more boy groups than girl groups. That's not because I don't like girl groups, it's just because I stan more boy groups. Literally, who cares? Okay. And then also for soloists, a lot of people don't qualify people who are in groups as soloists, but for me personally, my brain, there are some soloists who have like physical releases that I do consider, like, I don't know, okay, my brain works very weirdly. So some of the people I mentioned in the soloists are in other groups and I do like them in other groups. So yeah, okay. Let's start off with the soloists. So the first one is Kang Daniel. You guys know I love Daniel. He was my bias in 101. And for Daniel, I do collect some of his albums, but not all of them, just because, I don't know, I'm terrible, I don't know. But I have most of them. I just need to get his most recent album. I try to buy at least one version of his albums. And then I do love Wano. I do have one version of all of his albums so far. He is having a comeback so soon, which I'm so excited. But yeah, I love Wano solo music. Open Mind, literally one of the songs of the year. Literally, he's insane. Anyways, and then I also really love Woods. Now for Woods, I don't actually collect his albums, but I just do really love Seungyoon's music and I just really respect him as an artist. You guys know I was a big fan of X1. So yeah, I really love Woods. And then obviously Taemin. For Taemin, I don't collect his albums, but I do have a few of just ones that I've either asked for Christmas or my birthday or just like bought randomly, but I don't actually collect. But Taemin's actually one of my like absolute favorite male soloist. Like his solo music is insane. And then obviously Baekhyun is like probably one of my absolute favorite male soloists also ever. And I do collect all of Baekhyun's albums and all of his photo cards as well. He's just one of my favorite people on the planet. And then I do like Chungha as well. Chungha is the only female soloist I actually like stan, and I have some of her albums, but I don't actively collect her albums. So those are like the soloists. Obviously, like I've mentioned before, like all of the BTS solos, all of the other EXO solos I do love, but I feel like those are the ones that I'm like actively standing. I don't know if that makes sense. Guys, it probably doesn't make sense, but this is a reminder that my brain works differently than your brain, so whatever my brain says goes for me, and whatever your brain says goes for you. Okay, great. Well, let's do some girl groups. The first one is a disbanded girl group, but that is IZ*ONE. I loved IZ*ONE so much, and my bias is and still was Yuri. And I collected all of IZ*ONE's albums, and I attempted to collect all of Yuri's photo cards. I didn't actually manage to get all of them, and I really don't think I'll go back and actually collect all of Yuri's cards, but I do have most of them, and I think Yuri is possibly going to do a solo, so if Yuri was to go solo, I probably potentially would collect that as well. So I love Yuri so much. The next girl group is EXID, and my bias is Ellie. I love EXID's music, but I just don't personally collect them, and also I have no idea what they're doing right now. So yeah, I love their music, honestly. The next group is Luna, and my bias is Kimlip. I collect some Luna albums. I don't really collect them thoroughly, but I do love the girls and I do enjoy their music. Of course, I stand them. And then the next group is Wiki Mickey, and my bias is Yoojung. And also for Wiki Mickey, I don't really collect their albums. I have some of them, and I have some of Yoojung's cards. I kind of tossed and turned with the idea of collecting them, but their collecting community is kind of smaller, so I don't know. Sometimes when a collecting community is really small and I bias a popular member, I kind of feel a little bit turned away from collecting cards, but I have some of them and I'm really happy to have them. Then the next group is Twice, and my bias is Jihyo. I do have some of Twice's albums, and I have thought about collecting Jihyo a few times as well. I just think right now it's not going to work for me financially, but in the future I might collect her photo cards, I might not. And would I collect Twice albums? I have all the 3 versions of Taste of Love because Alcohol Free, Song of the Summer, but would I go forward? I don't know. I want to maybe get a few of them that I like, but I don't know about collecting all of them. And then for ITZY, my bias is Chaeryeong. So for ITZY, I collect all albums and I collect Chaeryeong's PCs. I love collecting photo cards. I love ITZY. They kill it. I'm so excited for their comeback at the end of September. Yeah, I love collecting ITZY. They're probably one of my favorite girl groups to collect. And then we have Blackpink, and my bias is Rosé. I do collect all of Blackpink's albums. I don't have all of them yet. I'm still missing 2 versions of the album and 1 version of How You Like That, but I will probably get them in the future. And for Blackpink, I do not collect photo cards because they're expensive. And then my ultimate girl group is Red Velvet. I only have one ultimate girl group, and it's just Red Velvet. I love them so much. And my ultimate female bias is Irene. She's my bias in Red Velvet. And for Red Velvet, I collect all of her albums, and I collect Irene's photo cards. So yeah, those are like my girl groups that I stan and collect. Also, I just do want to point out, STAYC has been on my radar since debut, and I've really enjoyed STAYC's most recent comeback, and I loved ASAP, and I love So Bad. So will I stan STAYC in the future? I'm not sure, but I really like them. They're probably the one, like, we'll see if I will send STAYC. My bias is Isa, by the way, for STAYC, if you guys are wondering. But anyways, let's go into boy groups. We have 2 disbanded boy groups to go through, which is gonna be a sensitive topic. So obviously the first one is 101. I actually used to ult 101 when they were together, but obviously since everything happened and they broke up, I was like, I don't really consider them an ultimate anymore. I loved the time that we had with them, but obviously they're disbanded now. And Daniel, obviously, like I said, was my bias, and I did collect all of 101's albums. When I collected 101, I did not collect photo cards, so I don't have like any of like Daniel's photo cards from 101. But I just have all their albums, and that's fine with me. And then obviously we gotta go through X1. For X1, my bias was Johan, and I still love Johan so much. And I did obviously collect the one album they had. So sad. Anyways, and I did not collect Johan's photo cards because I remember them being very expensive. That's all I remember. I don't remember. X1 came at like a very random time. I don't even remember 2019. Anyways, the next group we have is another kind of disbanded group, but kind of not disbanded. They're in a strange category of GOT7. My bias is Jackson, and I collect some of their albums. For GOT7 and a few other groups that I'll mention, I really wanted to get one version of an album from when I stand. So I started standing GOT7 really hardly around like Lullaby era. So I kind of wanted to do something like that, but I actually haven't done that for GOT7. I've been a little bit more like just like buying whatever I want for them. So yeah, I don't really collect them, and I don't see myself going back and buying any albums. So, and then we have ONEST, and my bias is Hwanwoong. Now for ONEST, I do have some of their albums. I used to collect them, but I don't collect them anymore just because there's just so many things that I do collect that I didn't feel the need to collect ONEST. I like them, I like their music, obviously I send them, but I just don't feel the need to buy their albums. I feel like I can support them digitally, and that is good as well. So yeah. And then we have AB6, and my bias is Woong. Again, for AB6, I used to collect their albums, but along with ONE, I did downsize them just because of the amount of stuff that I collect, because I collect a lot of stuff. And then we have SHINee. My bias is Taemin. No surprise there. For SHINee, I don't collect their albums. Obviously, I have one because I was gifted it for my birthday, but again, maybe I'll just, if somebody gives it to me, I won't say no, but I don't collect SHINee albums. And then we have Pentagon, and my bias is Hongseop. Love him, love them. I miss my boys who are in the military, but again, for Pentagon, I don't buy their albums just because I don't feel a need to. I love them, but I don't feel like I need to buy their albums. And then we have Ace, and my bias is 10. I do love Ace, and I love 10. I love them so much, but I do not collect their albums either. I have, like I said, a few of their albums, but I feel like for most of the groups that I stan, I have like a few of my favorites, but I don't really like actively collect unless you're like up on the list. Anyway, the next one that we have is NU'EST. I freaking love that. Oh my god, I love NU'EST. Anyways, Bebe song of the year. My bias is Minhyun, but also Baekho. I can't talk about NU'EST and not mention Baekho. I got a crush on Baekho. And again, for NU'EST, I don't collect their albums, but I have obviously a few of them because I'm insane. Just know that I'm insane, and I love buying albums. So yeah, I love NU'EST, but I don't see myself collecting them. I just like to stream Bebe. And then the next group we have is Very Very. My bias is Gaehyun. Again, I don't collect Very Very albums. I have a few of them, but I don't actively collect them. I do love them. Oh my god, their new album is I love Trigger. And then we have Monsta X. My bias is Kihyun. So Monsta X is in the same realm of album collecting as GOT7. I do have every album since I stand at least one version of it. And the first one was the Alligator We Are Here album, the black one. Oh yeah, that was like the first time I really was interested in Monsta X, so I have one album since then. So I'll probably keep doing that. Like, I have one of a kind, but like from now on, I'll probably buy one version for Monsta X because I love them. And then we have SF9, and my bias is Channy. And again, SF9 is the same, so I buy one version per album. Actually, no, I've collected most of SF9's albums, except I only have one version for most of them. I forgot to mention, for all of these groups, I don't collect photocards up till now. For Channy as well, I don't collect photocards. And then the next group we have is Day 6. Now, when I did this video in January, I was like, I don't have a Day 6 bias, and all of a sudden, Sungjin. Yeah, Sungjin's my Day 6 bias now. I love him so much. But yeah, I love Day 6, and I don't collect their albums, but I just love them. They are so freaking talented, so I just love them. Okay, and then the next group we have is WEI. So if you guys don't know, I love WEI. My bias is Donghan. Donghan was one of my favorite people in the entire world. I just love him, and I did collect Donghan's solo albums, and I don't collect WEI albums anymore. I was going to initially, but there's just so many groups that I do collect that it's really hard to unfortunately prioritize. But it's something I kind of just want to talk about, is like, you can collect whatever the hell you want. You can collect whoever you want, and don't feel bad if you stand a group and don't collect their albums. Like, I want you to know that it's totally valid. These albums aren't cheap. Nobody's buying them for us, so we have to kind of prioritize and kind of just decide what to collect. For WEI, I don't collect their albums. But. And then the next group is MCND, and my bias is Minjae. I love these little kids. They are so freaking talented, y'all. And I did collect MCND for a while, similar with WEI, but then I had to unfortunately downsize. So, and then the next group is Golden Child. So if you guys did not know, Bowman from Golden Child is one of my ultimate biases. I don't necessarily ult Golden Child, but I do ult Bowman, and I wanted to say, you can ult whoever the hell you want. You can ult however the hell you want. I know a lot of people like look at me as like a solo stan of Bowman. I love all of Golden Child. I love all of them. I have bias rec. The whole group bias recs me every 5 seconds. Did y'all say Rob Pam Pam? But it's like totally valid for me to call Bowman one of my old biases when I have the fattest crush on that man for no reason. But I do obviously collect all of their albums, and I do collect Bowman's photocards, so I love Golden Child. Stan Golden Child, stream damn daddy. Okay, the next group is the BOYZ. I love the BOYZ. My bias is Hyunjae, and I have most of their albums. A lot of their albums were out of print when I got really into them, so I don't have some of the limited edition albums. Then the next group is Astro. My bias is Tana. For Astro, I collect most of their albums as well. Again, with Astro, there's a lot of things that were out of print when I got really into them, so unfortunately I don't have a lot of their albums, and I don't know again if I'm going to be collecting Astro going forward, even album wise. I don't collect them photocard wise. I tried, and it was very difficult just because, I don't know, again, I want to really try and prioritize and not spend stupid amounts of money on cards anymore. And then the next group is CIX, and my bias is Seunghoon. I love Seunghoon so much. I love CIX. I do collect their albums, and I used to collect Seunghoon's photocards, but I'm not going to do that anymore just because he is again expensive. I will probably still buy their albums though. I love them, and I love their music so much. They're one of my favorite groups from 2019. I probably will still buy their albums. And then we have ATEEZ. My bias is Wooyoung. I do collect all of ATEEZ's albums, all of Wooyoung's photocards. I love ATEEZ. And then we have Treasure. My bias is Yoshi, y'all know that, and I do collect all of Treasure's albums, and I do collect Yoshi's photo cards. I did in the past collect more members, but I think just for right now, collecting Yoshi is totally fine, and also it just is a little less hurtful on my wallet, so yeah, I love Treasure so much, you guys know that. And then we have Untitled, my bias is Sunghoon, and I do collect all of their albums and Sunghoon's photo cards as well. However, am I gonna continue to collect Sunghoon? I don't know, because he's so expensive, and the collecting community for Untitled is just really terrible because y'all overpriced so badly. I saw y'all with that card of Chungwon and the teddy bear and the card of Sunghoon with the apple. But yeah, I don't know. I love them, like I love Untitled so much, but I don't think I need to push myself to collect his cards when it's gonna literally just drain my wallet. So I'm not sure. I probably still will though. I'm stupid. Anyways, the next one we have is 17. My bias is Vernon, and for 17 I collect most of their albums. Again, 17 had a lot of out of print albums when I got into them, so I have as many as I can, and I do collect them forward. And for 17 I've never collected photo cards. I have literally no interest in collecting photo cards for them, just because Vernon may be my bias, but I got a crush on like every single one of them, so I would feel bad collecting just one of them, so I've never done it. And then the next group, you guys, is my new ultimate. I bet you guys know who it is. Like, there's literally only one more group other than my ult. So if you guys are former subscribers of me, you guys know who it is. My new ultimate group is obviously TXT. You guys will know I've been a pre-debut MOA. I have stan them since pre-debut when they were doing all of the teaser photos, introducing all of the boys. I was there through all of it, and when they released Crown, I fell in love with them quite literally. They are so freaking talented, and I feel like since basically the beginning, I've been like, oh, they're really on my radar, they're really high on my list. And I have told you guys time and time again, if I was to ult another group, it would be TXT, and I feel like all of me telling you that was just me like being stupid and not ulting them, because like they've been an ult basically for me since debut. So that's 2 years, you guys. 2 years I've been suppressing this. I think really especially after like Blue Hour, I was like, these boys are ults, but I really never said it out loud until 0 by 1 equals love song, I Know I Love You. I feel like that's when I was kind of like, yeah, they're ults. And I didn't actually tell anyone until, I think it was until Loser Lover came out. So yeah, I ulted TXT a long time ago, but I just never said anything. But yeah, of course I love TXT, and I don't really know if Subin would be one of my ult biases. I love Subin, but I love all of the boys, so I just more consider all of them ults. But for TXT, obviously I do collect all of their albums, and I do collect Yeonjun and Subin's photo cards. Yeonjun's my bias record, but I am very tempted to collect OT5, so one thumbs up and I'll do it. I have a good start on the Fighter Escape cards for OT5, so I've been really considering, like really seriously considering collecting OT5, so one thumbs up and I'll do it. But yeah, that's my new ultimate. Was anyone shocked? Nobody should be. Literally, we all know. And then we have Super M. So for Super M, my bias is Baekhyun, and I do collect all their albums. And then Baekhyun and Mark's PCs. Mark is my bias wrecker. Mark is my eternal bias wrecker. Mark is the biggest bias wrecker in every single thing that he does. But yeah, Super M, I stand them. And then obviously for Wavy, we have Kun is my bias, and I collect all albums and Kun's PCs. Wavy is one of my ultimates. NCT, all of NCT are my ultimates. So like every single unit are ults. And then we have NC127, my bias is Jaehyun, and I collect all albums and Jaehyun and Mark's PCs. And then we have NCT Dream, we have Jaemin as my bias, and I collect all albums and then Jaehyun and Mark's PCs. So I collect Mark's cards in every single unit, but like I mentioned, NCT as a whole is just one of my ultimate groups. So the next group we have obviously is EXO. I ult EXO. Baekhyun is one of my ultimate biases. I love all of them, and I do collect all their albums and Baekhyun's photo card. And then the next group we have is Stray Kids. Obviously you guys know Stray Kids are one of my ultimates. Hyunjin is my bias in Stray Kids, and I do collect all of their albums. And for Stray Kids, I collect the most thoroughly, so I do collect Taiwanese, Japanese, Korean albums, and also non-album cards for Hyunjin. And for Mino, Mino's my bias wrecker. He's basically my double bias at this point, but I can't admit that out loud. And now for Seungmin as well, because I can't talk about it. And then for Stray Kids, I do collect OT8 for Korean album cards. So I collect all members, I collect everything for everyone because I love them all and I am whipped, okay? And then of course, I would say Stray Kids in this group are they're tied, but BTS is also one of my ultimate groups. And Yoongi is actually my ultimate bias in all of K-pop. A lot of people always ask me, who's your ult? And I'm like, it's Yoongi, I just love him. Or Suga, sorry, Suga. But yeah, I collect all album for BTS, of course, and then I collect Yoongi, Jin, and Jungkook's photo cards. So Yoongi, Jin, JK is my bias line, and I collect their photo cards because as much as I would love to collect OT7 for BTS, it's way too expensive, and I can't afford that. So yeah, that has been basically me 30 minutes of rambling over all of the groups that I stan. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it was kind of informative. I hope you kind of got to know a little bit more about me and who I collect and who I stan. I hope it wasn't just boring. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I hope you guys liked the new ultimate. Did anyone see it coming? I'm sure every single one of you did. But yeah, I love you guys. I love all of the groups that I stan. And again, I love K-pop, so don't think that just because a group's not on here, I hate them. I really don't. I love everyone. I think everyone is killing it. So that's gonna be the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I want to know down below, who are your ults? Who do you guys stan? Give me your list. Give me everything in the comments down below. I want to know. And I'll see you guys very soon. Please stop asking me who my bias in BTS is. Okay, bye everyone.